Hello everybody, thank you for watching our video. This is Jimmy Wu from PoleWork Pacific Inc. Before we start our video, please give us a like and share with your friend and also subscribe us so you won't miss our other video. Today, I would like to share some one topic many people ask me about, come to me with their failure. Okay, talk about what should I avoid in my new house project. Okay? Today, we try to learn from some people, some other owners' failure. Okay, there's many different ways to succeed, but usually there are certain ways, common ways to fail. And today we learn from those failure, and hopefully then we can give you some insight, and then you can avoid that in your next project, and especially if you have new house project. Now, number one, this is very beginning, is from start. If you start with unqualified or unreliable, unknowledgeable consultants. Now, this is very important. When you design a project, you get someone to get your design and drawing. So this person, suppose a key person to get the project succeed. But I don't know why, but a lot of case I heard from owner is they would rather hire someone not qualified, means they are not licensed, not unknowledgeable, they are just fresh out from school, or they just only got a couple years experience, right? And then even unreliable, which means they don't know where this guy from, and they just heard it, just get a name from someone of the contractor, oh, use this guy. But when they try to contact him, he has any background check on this person. So this thing happened, they think about it, if you use someone unqualified person from the beginning, and is really get a big chance to make your project fail, right? I have another video talk about how do you choose a contractor, right? How do you choose design professional? Now, if you're interested, you can go back to see that two video. Sorry, not one video, two videos of it, each one. Contractor, design professional, or even I have video talk about should you use architect or should you use a draftsman. Now, these videos can give you some insight about how do you choose your consultant in the beginning, including design part and also construction part. Okay, choosing a wrong person, okay, to start with a project from the beginning, that maybe indicate you fail from the beginning. If you fail from the beginning, how do you get it succeed? How do you get a project done? A lot of owner I seeing is the project gets stuck, the permit gets stuck, never get issued, because when they come to see me and look at that, reason is very simple, because the person is not a licensed architect. And he doesn't even know what he's doing, and his drawing is messy. Somebody bring me a drawing, I cannot even read the drawing, I cannot even understand what he tried to draw. Okay, so that kind of drawing, how can you expect that can get building permit from DPP, right? And I also see someone hire unqualified, unknowledgeable draftsman to do a luxury house in Diamond Head, and then then he come to see me and say, oh, my project my draftsman architect dropped the project, I need help. And then when he bring me the project, I say, hey, this one is shoreline and special management, SMA. You need both permits, shoreline permit and SMA major permit. Then it's very, very challenging. No wonder, because the design consultant you use is just a draftsman. He doesn't have even license, and definitely he doesn't know what to do about this. So the guy just drop ball and they run away. Now then the whole project gets stuck. Then the design is very difficult to have someone to go pick up your project, follow your project. So this kind of things is, if you if you choose a wrong person or unqualified person, that indicate maybe is a symbol you fail from beginning. So there's a number one, it's very important. Find a qualified right person, especially a design person for your project. Number two, work without a contract, nor a clear contract. Okay. Now, I have seen some people like this, is when you come to see me and asking a question and then say, oh, I get screwed up on this, my contract didn't do this, my draftsman or architect didn't do this. I said, what is a contract say? And then they asked me, no, we don't have contract. We just, by verbal, by trust. I said, well, I mean, if I trust now, do you still trust? So he said, no, sure, I know he could screw me up and this. Well, that's why we need contracts, right? Now, as a professional in Hawaii, all professionals, including contractor, architect, when we do projects, we must have contract or fee proposal with client, and we clearly in the fee proposal indicate what do we do for this project. I mean, for the client. Contractor, same, right? What does he do? How he pricing this? How he price this whole project? Okay, what kind of quality? What kind of material? Right? Architect, we put what kind of drawing we will provide. So this is very clear things. But if someone from beginning say, no, we don't need contract. Just trust me like this. Then, as an owner, you should find that it's a problem. Okay, I heard from, I do have experience. See someone, an owner, have this contractor doing the whole foundation work and make it so expensive, and the contractor try to charge him like super expensive, like over 200,000 just for foundation. And then when owner listen that way, they flip out from the chair. Say, how can it be just a foundation, right? But see, the contract, no, it's because of the retaining wall, because this, because that. I got to charge you 200,000. So they get argued, right? And then this owner come to see me and ask me, hey, can you help me to take over this project and stuff? And I say, what is your contract with your contractor? He said, no, I don't have contract. We just by mouth, verbal agreement. I said, well, how can that happen? Because from the beginning, does he ever give you a cost estimate about your project? No, he didn't. He always say, it's fine, don't worry, I take care of your project. And then he start work. Then so I said, from the beginning, so you never know how much he will cost you to build a house? He said, yes, he didn't say. So that means he can bill you any amount he wants, right? So there is a situation. Without a contract, how do you have a definite price, a definite fee about your project? If you do not even have definite fee, then means your cost can be changed every day. Today he asks you $200,000. Tomorrow, then he can ask you another $100,000. Next month, he can ask you another $20,000. So your house may become out like $2 million, right? But can you afford? Do you know that, right? You don't, right? So that kind of thing is another big, like I always say, trouble, big problem. Okay, so without contract, and number 3 is start construction without a design and drawing. Okay, so there's just some situation is a contractor, because they really eager to get the job, they will tell the owner, say, hey, don't worry, we can start the work first, and the meanwhile, we can have the drawing later, we can have your architect comes into play later, we can build first. Okay, now that always get trouble. I have heard that many times, I've seen that many times. People build without a drawing, without permit. Okay, couple of things. First of all, build without permit is illegal. You will get citation. When inspector come, you get citation. Second of all is contractors don't know about building code. They don't know about where they can build or cannot build. The worst scenario is you're building the whole thing. Like I've seen people, they're building the whole structure is over the easement. And then they try, and they come to see me and say, oh, we want to get a permit on this. And look at that. You cannot get permit because your whole structure, whole building is over the easement. And then there's no way building department will give you that permit. So you got to tear down. And they look at me, oh, cannot. And then the owner's crying. I said, well, that is a problem. You will not get permit on this. And but my contractor say this, say that. It doesn't matter what your contractor say. Nowadays the building code doesn't allow you, right? So this kind of thing happens before. I saw that, and what is the reason? Because contractor want to get the money from owner. So he said, okay, I can build that first. Don't worry. I take care of this. I can start work, and then we can get the permit later. So that is how this comes out. So this is another issue without drawing and start construction. Okay. Number 4, without a clear program, scope of work, okay, and budget. Okay. Now, contractor, when work with owner, you need to getting a clear program. That means like, what do you need in your project? Okay, how many bedroom? How many bathroom? You got to be definite. Okay, you cannot keep changing. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Or should I have like 1,000 square feet? Or should I have 2,000 square feet? Or should I have like 3 bedrooms? Should I have 4 bedrooms? You cannot. You have to get a definite program from the beginning. And budget. Now, with a program, how many square feet of your house, then you come up with budget, right? Then that is make sure that both is within your calculation. Otherwise, when you start without a clear budget, then your house might keep going up price, and then end up maybe you're over budget like 10, 15, 20%. Then become your financial, it becomes a financial issue to your own, right? So that is something that you need to be careful as an owner. Number 5 is very common thing is listen to many people about design idea. Now I understand the owner when they try to build their own new house, they are very excited and they want to listen to different people say, how do you think you want to build a new house? Should I do this? Should I do that? Now, I would say advise owner, do not, keep asking people, because you ask 100 of people, you will get 100 of different ideas and they probably conflict each other. Okay. And the most important is the house is your house. Okay. How do you use it is you and your family. So the only people you should listen to is your family, your wife, your husband, maybe your parents, maybe your children. Listen to them. What do they want? What do they need? That is more important than you listen to your uncle, listen to your cousin, listen to your co-worker, and he doesn't even know where the house is, right? Because when you ask them, they will only give advice based on what they know about their house or what their need is, right? They don't understand what the situation, right? So that's why important is this is your house, eventually. So important is your family needs, not your friends' need, not the other people's need. Okay, but usually when people listen to many people from outside, they get confused themselves. Okay? I have seen one owner keep saying, coming back, oh, my friend say this, oh, this guy say this, that person say that, okay, and then keep changing mind design, and really end up with getting like real big trouble because it's dragging the whole design. Okay, and also like number six is work. Okay, without carefully finalize the design and drawings. Means when we do the design, when a draftsman or architect, when we do the drawing, before we submit to DPP owner, you should, okay, sit down with the architect or draftsman and go over the drawing, go through the drawing one more time, make sure everything being addressed and correct, and which is fulfill what you need. I have this case happen is, the draftsman do a drawing, and we come to us, we get third-party review, okay, and we get the permit out, and then 1 week, 2 weeks later, an owner called me, oh Jimmy, the drawing is not the way I want. Oh, I should need this and that. I said, what? I say, the project is very simple. It's just a patio, but owner wanted to be like a tropical design style, so with a very long overhang patio, but the draftsman, the person who did the drawing, he didn't know that. Or he missing that. So he just draw regular. So then that way, when the permit issue is issued with a regular overhang, and owner now you want to get longer overhang. However, with longer overhang in DPP side, in building code, that will trigger a building area count difference. So that means you are adding building area to the project. You cannot go back just simply change drawing. You have to submit a new permit. So when you submit a new permit, that costs you more money, right? Costs new permit money, routing and everything, and time, right? So that becomes another big issue. So owner, especially we talk about just a small project, but think about a whole house, right? For a whole brand new house, your owner, before you submit permit, you need to sit down with architect carefully, right? Finalize the drawings to make sure that the drawing address everything you need. So 7, which is the last point, is avoid unclear product expectation from owner. Okay, as an owner, when you start working with your contractor, architect, design professional, make sure that everybody on the same page about what kind of product expectation means, including what kind of material, what kind of flooring, what kind of wall, what kind of roof covering, windows, the quality. We want a middle class, low end, high end. Those are the product expectations that you should let your contractor and design professional knows it from the beginning. You want your house designed as a high end, you want the ceiling soffit, or you don't need. Those are important because we don't wonder, when you in your mind, you're thinking that, why would you have a fantastic modern design house, but how, your architect think is, you just will have a, regular Hawaiian type track home, right? So that will be a big difference. And also for your contractor too, if you expect a luxury grade of your house and your contractor price you as a low grade, the most economic grades, products of your house, then if you do communicate correctly, when the time they start doing design or these drawings and even construction, and it will give you a big frustration because you will see something, oh, this is not what I want, right? And it happens, because when time owner see that the product doesn't meet his expectation, he want to make change. He want to make change on design. He want to make change on material and construction. So the price keep coming up, then become a change order on both sides, design and construction, and end up it can be a very, very big change order and big over budget, of he expected. So this is becoming a big landmark, for construction or for a brand new house project. So today, I share the 7 different we call problems or issues about people always meet the failure, make the house project fail. I hope this one can help people. When you're planning your next project, your next new house project, we'll give you some tips. So today I'm going to share up to here, and don't forget, give us a comment and also give us a like and share with your friends. If you have questions, welcome to email us, and thank you very much.